If you've been waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect version of yourself to finally start, taking your life seriously, this is it. It's not tomorrow. It's not next week. And not when you feel ready, because ready is a myth. People used to delay action and longer you buy into it, the more time you lose. And time is the one thing you never get back. It doesn't pause while you figure things out. It doesn't slow down because you're unsure. It keeps moving whether you act it or not. And every day you hesitate is a day you could have used to build something better. And that's the part, you know most people ignore. They think waiting is neutral, but it's not. It's a decision to stay the same, to keep the same habits, the same routines, the same results. And if you're not happy with where you are, that should be bother you, not in a way that makes you feel stuck, but in a way that pushes you to move, because discomfort isn't the enemy. It's a signal that something needs to change. And most people spend their energy trying to avoid that feeling instead of using it. They distract themselves, they scroll, they make excuses, they tell themselves they'll start when things calm down. But things never fully calm down, and life always gives you something. There will always be a reason to wait if you're looking for one, and that's why people stay stuck for years, not because they don't want more, but because they keep choosing comfort over progress in small ways that adds up over time. And those small choices, they shape your future more than any big decision ever will, because your life is built on what you do consistently, not occasionally. And consistency doesn't come from motivation, it comes from commitment. And commitment means you show up even when you don't feel like it, even when it's inconvenient, and even when nobody is watching, because that's where real change happens. It's not in the moment you feel inspired, but in the moment you'd rather do something else and choose not to. And that choice is available to you every single day in how you spend your time, what you focus on, and what your priorities are. And if you're honest, you already know you're wasting time. You know the habits that are holding you back, the things you keep doing that don't move your life forward. And the longest you ignore that, the more it costs you. Not just in results, but in confidence, because every time you say you're going to do something and don't follow through, you weaken your trust in yourself. And once that trust is low, everything becomes harder. You second guess yourself, you hesitate, you start to believe you're not the kind of person who finishes what they start. And that belief becomes a self fulfilling cycle, but it works the other way too. Every time you follow through, even on something small, you build trust. You prove to yourself that you can do what you said you would do. And that builds momentum. And the momentum is powerful, because once you have it, things start to feel easier, not because the work changed, but because you did. You became more consistent, more disciplined, and more focused. And that's what creates results. It's not luck, it's not talent, but it's repeated actions over time. And that's something you can control right now, regardless of your situation, regardless of your starting point. You can control what you do next. And that's all that matters. Not what you did last week, not what you should have done months ago, but what you choose to do right now, because that choice sets the direction for everything that follows. And if you keep choosing the easy option, the comfortable path, and the things that require the least effort, you'll keep getting the same results. And if those results aren't good enough, something has to change. And that change starts with ownership, with accepting that where you are right now is largely a reflection of what you've been doing. And that might be hard to hear, okay? But it's also empowering, because it means you're not stuck. It means you have control. And once you take that seriously, you stop waiting for external things to fix your situation and start focusing on what you can do to improve it. And that shift alone can change everything, because it puts you back into the driver's seat. It turns you from someone who reacts to your life into someone who shapes it. And shaping your life doesn't require a massive overhaul. It requires small, consistent improvements, doing a little more than you did yesterday, being a little more disciplined, a little more focused, a little more intentional. And those small changes, they add up faster than you think, but only if you stick with them. And that's where most people, they fall off. They start strong, they feel motivated, and they make changes for a few days or a weeks, and then they slip. And instead of getting back on track, they quit. They tell themselves they'll start over later, and that later turns into never, and the cycle repeats. And the problem isn't the slip, it's the response to it, because slipping is normal. You're not going to be perfect, But what matters is how quickly you recover, how quickly you get back to doing what you said you would do. And that's a skill you can build by refusing to let one day turn into a bad week, by catching yourself early and correcting the course. And that requires awareness, paying attention to your patterns, noticing when you're starting to drift, and taking action before it becomes habit. That level of awareness separates people from who improve from who stay stuck, because it allows you to stay in control, to adjust when needed, and to keep moving forward when the things aren't perfect. And perfection is another trap too. You know, waiting until everything is just right before you act. But life doesn't work that like that at all. Things will never be perfectly aligned. There will be always be uncertainty, always be risk, always be reason not to start. And if you wait for those to disappear, you'll be waiting forever. So instead of you acting anyway, you start where you are with what you have, and you figure it out as you go. And that's how progress actually happens. Not through perfect planning, but through imperfect action, learning, adjusting, and continuing. And over time, that process builds something real, something solid, something you can be proud of. But it only works if you stay consistent. If you keep showing up when it's hard, even when it's boring or when the results aren't immediate, because that's where most people quit right before things start to compound. And if you can push past that point, if you can stay committed long enough to see the results of your effort, you separate yourself from the majority. Because most people give up too soon. They underestimate what they can achieve in the long term because they overestimate what should happen in the short term. And that mismatch leads to frustration. And that frustration, it leads to quitting. But if you understand that progress takes time, that results are delayed, that effort compounds, you're less likely to quit. You're more likely to stay the course. And staying the course is what creates success, not quick bursts of effort, but sustained, consistent action over time. And that's something you can start today, not with some huge change, but with one decision, one action that moves you forward, and then another and another. And those actions, they build momentum, and that momentum, it builds the confidence. And that confidence fuels more action. And before you know it, you're operating at a different level, not because something magically happened, but because you decided to take responsibility and follow through. And that's the message you need to hear right now. Not something complicated, not some secret strategy, just the truth that your life changes when your actions change. And your actions change when you decide they will. And that decision is yours. Nobody can make it for you. Nobody can do the work for you. But once you make it, once you commit to it, everything else starts to fall into place step by step, day by day, until the gap between where you are and where you want to be starts to close. And that's when things get interesting. That's when you realize you were capable of more all along. You just need to stop waiting and start doing. And that moment can be right now, if you choose it to be. So choose it. And then prove it with your actions, because at the end of the day, what you do matters far more than what you intend. And if you can align those two, if you can make your actions match your goals, there's no limit to what you can build over time. But it starts with this moment, this decision, and what you do next. Thanks for watching today's video. If you found value in today's video, please subscribe. Without you, I can't grow this channel because YouTube says I need subscriptions. So I need you to subscribe if you found value, and I'd love to have you on the team. Also, comment down below. I try to respond to every positive comment that I can. If it's negative, I don't. You're wasting my time. Also, check out this video to the right. It could also help you on your journey as well. I hope you guys have a good day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.